A long, long time ago, in the heart of Kumasi, Ghana, there lived two sisters who grew up in one house, but their hearts were very different. Gifty, the older one, was calm and kind. Her smile melted people's hearts. She was also so helpful, and in return, people were always ready to show her love. Jackie, the younger sister, on the other hand, by 3 years, was full of fire. She didn't take anything easy. She simply did everything too fast, talking, walking, working, and wanted everything fast, fast. She always wished she would be everyone's favorite and shine like her sister. At first, it was just an admiration, but as they grew older, it turned into pure envy. Whenever their parents got any new thing for Gifty, without buying for Jackie as well, Jackie would almost cry. And the times they bought for both of them, she would compare hers with Gifty's to make sure they were equivalent. Mommy, why didn't you buy me Gifty's type of shoe? This one is outdated, Kara. Jackie would complain to her mom. Learn to be content with what you have, Jackie, Mommy will always tell her. Whenever Mommy praised Gifty for being such a hardworking and good girl, Jackie will be in the corner, eyeing her. But you can't say the same for Gifty. She carried her sister's matter on her head like hot bread. She didn't play with Jackie at all. She almost put Jackie first before herself. But this only made Jackie even more envious of her. One hot afternoon, they sat eating some kosua nemeko by the roadside after school when some boys started teasing Jackie because her shoe was old and worn out. Gifty stood up quickly with a strong voice. "Leave my sister alone. Will you get out of here?" she shouted on all of them, making sure they left Jackie alone. After the incident, Jackie didn't even say thank you. She looked at Gifty, wishing she could be brave enough to stand on her own as well. Years later, at the University of Cape Coast, Gifty met Kojo. He was quiet, kind, and had a gentle smile. The day they reached for the same book in the library was the small moment they started something special in their lives. They studied together, walked around the school block together, ate lunch together, shared spicy kelewele, and laughed under the shade of palm trees. Kojo was steady like the beat of a drum, and Gifty's heart danced every time he was near. Their love grew strong, like Aradite's gum. One night, under the stars, Kojo took Gifty's hand and asked her to marry him. And she happily said yes, of course. And in no time, they started planning their wedding. Their wedding was full of joy. There were drums beating, people dancing for joy. Their kente clothes were shining, and palm wine was flowing. Friends and family danced till their feet hurt. The night was alive with happiness. After their wedding, Gifty and Kojo stepped into a new chapter of life in their beautiful home in Kumasi. The house was cozy and filled with the sounds of family and friends visiting, children playing, and the soft cries of their first baby. For Gifty, it was a dream come true, a home full of love and hope. Every morning, she would wake early to prepare breakfast while Kojo got ready for work. She would hum soft songs as she rocked the baby, feeling the warmth of her little family. Gifty was proud to be a wife and a mother. She worked hard to keep everything running, caring for the baby, doing her remote job, and making sure their home was a happy place. As for Kojo, God had blessed him with a good job in the construction firm as the manager, and with his influence, Gifty pitched in some good words for Jackie to be hired as well. Gifty was always thinking about a good life for her sister. So, when Jackie got the job, her joy knew no bound. Thank you, sis, Jackie said over the phone to Gifty. But in fact, she was filled with jealousy at how Gifty had everything she had ever dreamed of. Who does she even think she is? My messiah or what? Does she think I can't take care of myself now? That she has chosen to find me a job as well? What a show off, Jackie muttered, feeling so irritated. However, life wasn't always so rosy. Pregnancy was very difficult for Gifty, not in the sense that she couldn't take in, but the amount of sickness that followed her pregnancies was something else. Every time Gifty became pregnant, trouble followed like flies. She would wake up cold and trembling. She felt nauseous every time she put something in her mouth, so she could barely eat. Sometimes she would sit by the window, staring blankly outside, watching the world move too quickly. Kojo watched all this with worry in his heart. He tried to comfort her, bringing ginger tea, rubbing her back gently, and whispering promises that it would get better. But as her body weakened, so did the closeness between them. Gifty pushed him away sometimes, angry at the sickness, tired of needing help. Their nights that was once filled with whispered sweet words became silent and cold. During her second pregnancy, Gifty's struggles grew deeper. She cried alone in their quiet room, praying for a different story this time. Kojo tried to be patient, but the frustration was getting too much. Work became his escape. He started spending long hours at the office and late nights with his friend Emmanuel at a drinking bar. Emmanuel was a loud man. He was single and barely took anything seriously. He believed life was a cruise and was to be enjoyed to the fullest. One of the days they were together at the bar, he said to Kojo, "Kojo, my brother, you let a lot of things weigh you down. You carry too much load for a young, vibrant man. Make I tell you something, brah. You go quick old oh. You deserve a little happiness here and there. You get it?" he said with a sly smile on his face. Kojo knew where he was driving at, but paid him no mind. At the same time, Jackie, Gifty's younger sister, was working with Kojo on a real estate project. She was confident and sharp. Her smile was soft and constant. She was starting to get too close for comfort to Kojo. They spent long hours together, running over projects, sharing lunch, and laughing in ways that made Kojo's heart beat differently. Kojo liked this feeling. He had missed it. He had missed laughing so hard and being made feel like he was wanted. And all these things felt really good to him. On the other hand, Gifty found herself more lonely than she wished. Taking care of a toddler while being pregnant and sick was a nightmare. She was aware of the growing distance between Kojo and herself, but she didn't read much meaning into it. Soon, the wait was over and she gave birth to another beautiful baby girl. But things didn't exactly go back to normal. The gap was still there. Stress and having to take care of 2 kids was still wearing Gifty out. Kojo, on the other hand, had gotten used to finding some sort of peace at the bar, where he now drinks till late in the night. He wasn't much of a help to Gifty. Intimacy in the marriage was simply gone. Whenever she brought up the topic, Kojo simply waved it aside. In his defense, work is crazy these days. I am only trying to seal contracts with clients, and most of these clients demand to meet me only at night time. It's not my fault, dear. I have to make this money so I can take care of you, my girls, he would say, kissing Gifty slightly on the forehead. This continued and Kojo was starting to nurture his feelings for Jackie. Our people would say that it is from clapping that dancing follows. Kojo and Jackie were still clapping, but dancing was not far anymore. By the time Gifty became pregnant for the third time, the dancing commenced. Her morning sickness was back, stronger than ever. But the worst part was the growing silence in the house. She started noticing Kojo guarding his phone like an egg. He would refuse to answer his calls when they were together and would secretly hide to answer it. She heard the giggles when he's making his secret calls and noticed the sudden quiet when she entered the room when he's making his calls. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was slipping away from her. One morning, before Kojo left for work, she asked again, "Kojo, is everything okay between us? What is really going on?" Kojo looked away, avoiding his gaze. "It's just work stress, Gifty, nothing to worry about." Every morning before work, he kissed her forehead quickly before leaving, just to fulfill all righteousness. He didn't hold the love and warmth he used to hold. His smile became less frequent and more forced. He came home late and left early and barely saw his kids. The few times he stayed for breakfast, he stayed glued to his phone, barely looking at his kids. Meanwhile, Kojo's bad time with his friend kept developing evil thoughts in his head. Emmanuel was always telling him to go and find someone that would make him happy. He kept sowing evil seeds in his mind that was soon going to germinate. At the construction office, Jackie was always near, working closely with Kojo. She was confident, clever, and had a way of making Kojo laugh when the world felt heavy. Her laughter was like a soft breeze on a hot day, comforting and tempting at the same time. One evening, after everyone had left, Kojo and Jackie stayed behind, going over designs and plans. The noise from the air conditioner was the only sound in the quiet room. Suddenly, Jackie leaned in to brush a stray of hair from Kojo's forehead. The touch lingered longer than it should have, with her eyes piercing deeply into his. This alone sent a shiver down Kojo's spine. That day, he ate the forbidden fruit, and it felt good. He had a bit of guilt somewhere in his head, but he pushed it away. Jackie had climbed the ladder. She was no longer just a co-worker. She had been promoted to a side chick of her sister's husband. She became his secret refuge, the place he escaped to when the weight at home became too much to bear. Their meetings grew more and more frequent and private. They had a secret hotel room where they met almost every day. Every night, he chose Jackie's dangerous warmth over the sick bed waiting for him at home. Meanwhile, back at home, Gifty's world shrank. She was tired, sick, and lonely. The days stretched long and heavy for her. Her third pregnancy was the hardest yet. Her body ached. Her spirit wore thin. But the sharpest pain was the silence growing between her and Kojo. A silence that was louder than any shouting match. The man who once promised her forever was becoming a stranger. Her nights were filled with tears and loneliness. But despite everything that was going on, Gifty held onto hope. Even when all evidence showed that there was more to Kojo than meets the eye. Then suddenly, he started rubbing it in her face. First, it was subtle. He would come home late, smelling faintly of a different perfume. And when she asked, his answers were sharp. "What do you mean by different perfume? What exactly are you driving at? You know fully well that I meet with female clients as well, Abby. So why the stupid question?" Gifty would keep quiet for peace to reign, especially since she had no strong proof. One afternoon, she caught a message flash on Kojo's phone screen. "Can't wait to see you tonight." Her heart skipped a beat and she felt like her feet couldn't carry her anymore. But she looked away quickly, unwilling to confront the situation yet. She was biding her time. Like every other pregnancy, Gifty's due date came and she had a very successful delivery. She gave birth to a baby boy. Kojo only came the next day to see her in the hospital and didn't even stay for up to an hour. Gifty knew that it was time to face him, fire for fire. After all, two can play the game. After recovering from childbirth and everything, at around 3 months postpartum, she made up her mind to get to the root of the matter. But she was going to work smart. One day, Gifty dressed up and drove to Kojo's office. She went straight into Kojo's office unannounced, and she met the greatest shock of her life. She squinted her eyes to see clearly, but her eyes were not deceiving her. She saw her own sister that she helped get the job in the first place, hugging and touching her husband's head in a very inappropriate way. Gifty was very upset. She couldn't explain what she felt because she never expected this shocker. But the main shocker was yet to come. Kojo simply held Jackie's hand in compassion and said coldly, "Gifty, I'm not happy with this marriage anymore. It's over for me. Jackie makes me feel happy and wanted. And so I want a divorce. I'm truly sorry if I hurt you. I really am." Can you imagine Kojo's guts? Gifty's mouth opened, but words failed her. When she could finally get herself to talk, she first asked Jackie why. "All I have ever done in this life is to love you wholeheartedly. Why would you even do this to your own sister?" To Gifty, this was the highest level of betrayal. Her own sister had the mind and heart to do something like this to her. Jackie was not even feeling remorseful. In her mind, she was like, so finally, I am able to possess what you have. You are no better than me after all." But she didn't say it out. She just kept quiet, smiling in a devilish way. Gifty managed to get herself together and walked out of there. First of all, she took her kids to a friend's place, somewhere Kojo will not be able to find them, and somewhere she could stay to clear her head and really come up with a strategic plan for her cheating husband and betraying sister. Days passed and Kojo kept calling, begging her to sign the divorce papers. But Gifty said nothing. Her silence was a plan, a slow crafting of well-deserving justice and karma. When her head was clear enough, she decided to act. She gave Kojo everything. She put her career on a hold just to make the family work. She went through hell to give birth to his babies, and he had the guts to look her in the face and tell her he wasn't happy anymore, that he was done, and not only that, he didn't see anyone else to mess around with. It was her own sister. Gifty went dark. The once cheerful, ever-loving Gifty was no more. She was a stone-cold girl now. She reached out to some area guys she used to know from far back in uni and paid them really well to carry out a well-thought-out assignment. One evening, as Kojo and Jackie drove down a quiet road on their way to their hotel room, unaware of the trap waiting for them, the area guys blocked their way, forcing them out of the car with guns pointed to their heads. Kojo and Jackie were shaking and begging, "Please, sirs, anything you want, any amount you want, I'll pay. Just please spare our lives." Kojo said, shaking with fear, he promised to pay whatever ransom they asked. But first of all, the area guys tied up their eyes properly so they would not see anything. Then they called Gifty forward, and she took great pleasure in torturing the hell out of the two of them. First, She gave the two of them a resounding slap. Then she went ahead to disfigure Kojo's fingers with hammer. And then she used koboko to flog sense back into Jackie. Next, she ordered her men to demand a sum of 100 million naira from Kojo to be transferred to an unknown account. Kojo transferred the money. Although it was his last card, he was trembling and desperate for his life. But the area boys were not done with him yet. After the ransom was paid, they shot Kojo on his leg, not to kill him, but just enough to break his spirit and teach him a bitter lesson. They went ahead to plant the gun in Jackie's bag. Then they called the police to report an accident. When the officers arrived, they found Jackie with the weapon. They arrested her and charged her with attempted murder. Kojo was taken to the hospital, and he was shocked when he heard it was Jackie that organized the heist because they found the gun in her bag. Of course, he didn't know it was Gifty. The news spread like wildfire. The people of Kumasi were stunned by the sister's betrayal and the extent she went in order to secure the bag. Kojo's name as well was dragged through the mud. His businesses crumbled and his friends disappeared, including Emmanuel that was his chief advisor. But Gifty, through it all, stood strong. Her children were safe. Her name was cleared. They had the money that would sustain them for a very long time. She did not entertain the label as the broken, betrayed woman. She was a woman who fought back and secured her kids' future and hers as well. After the storm, Gifty's life began to slowly heal. She packed their bags and left behind the streets of Kumasi, the memories, the pain, and the betrayal. And she moved into a quieter town with her kids where no one knew her story. The road ahead was long and sometimes hard, but Gifty walked it with her head held high. She found work teaching at a small school, and every day she watched her children grow stronger and happier. This empowered her and gave her some sort of fulfillment. She knew she made the right decision. Their laughter became the music that filled their new home, far, far away from Kojo. However, before leaving Kumasi for good, Gifty made one last visit. She went to the cold prison where Jackie was detained. Gifty said to her, "You betrayed me, your own sister. You tried to steal my life. But look what that has brought you. I hope you rot in the prison for as long as possible. And then, if they happen to let you go, you would never see me again in your life. You're on your own now, Jackie. I'm living to build a life filled with love and trust, away from all these. I hope one day you find your own peace." Jackie felt very sad. She couldn't stop crying. Her spirit was broken by the weight of her bad decisions. She lived to regret every envy and jealousy she had shown Gifty. As Gifty turned away, the prison gates closed behind her, and that was the end of that chapter of her life. In the quiet moments that followed, Gifty said a prayer for God's grace and strength to keep pushing forward. Moral lessons. Life will sometimes bring storms that will shake us to our very bones, but even in the darkest nights, the morning will always come with new light and new hope. When people betray and hurt us, it can break our hearts, but it cannot break our spirits unless we let it. Because true strength is found in standing up, in protecting those we love, and in believing that better days are ahead. So no matter what you're going through today, no matter the pain, the struggle, I want to encourage you today So keep your hopes up, because joy will always come in the morning. If you were blessed by this story, kindly share it with your family and friends, because they are going to learn a thing or two from it as well. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to this channel. And I want to thank you all so much for your support. Until I bring another story your way, Ngwanu, bye.